Welcome to Technical Writing. I'm Dr. Nathan Schenk, and I'm the professor for this course. I'm really looking forward to communicating with you through these lectures and via email and the course materials, and I think it's going to be a really good summer semester. So right off the bat, obviously we're not meeting face-to-face. This is an online class. I think online communication has a huge advantage, and may for this course even be better than face-to-face communication. So obviously in the online world, there are a lot of different qualities about the way we interact. You can be more anonymous, right? The presence of your identity is not in front of someone else. But we also communicate a lot via text, right? Via writing. And this is a course about writing, and not about academic writing. It's about the kind of writing that you do in the workplace, which is very similar to the kind of communication that I'm asking you to do as you actually work through this course. So many of the things you'll do to meet the requirements, to show that you listen to a lecture or read the material, will be the things that we're learning about anyway. So when you send me an email, well, we're going to have a whole project on the email. And so you get to practice these skills even more than you would in a face-to-face environment. My goal in this course is to be very upfront with you. I want to be a clear communicator. I don't want to shy away from the downsides of different elements. So that's where I'm coming from, to be honest and to let you know exactly what I mean. And I'm not saying that's going to work perfectly, but that's the beginning point. Please let me know if anything isn't clear. I do try hard to be clear. One of the elements of technical writing thinks about audience and purpose, but I can't always know my audience perfectly. I don't always know what you are thinking. And so you may have to help me. You may have to respond and let me know if there's any problems, anything you don't understand. And then in the interest of being upfront and honest, I want to tell you, this course is not the flashiest course. It's not a creative writing course. It's not art. There aren't any field trips. Now, that's not to say the content can't be interesting, and of course I do my best to make it interesting. We'll have videos. I'll try to include different personal stories that are relevant when the time comes. But the course has a huge advantage, and that is it's about practical ways of writing. It's about things you're going to do when you graduate and you get a college-educated job. You're going to become a technical writer, probably whether you want to or not, whether that's how you think about your field. Everybody does writing. Writing is considered the number 2 skill behind oral communication, recommended by employers and wanted by them. So the things you're going to be learning will really pay off. And I've had students come back and say, hey, I really did learn a lot from that class. Sure, it was a little boring at places. Learn to push through that. Sometimes we learn to like things that we don't expect to like. I didn't always enjoy watching PBS documentaries, but over time I've kind of developed a taste for them, and I like them. I know there's something good. And so maybe you can kind of feel that way about this course as well. Let me tell you just a couple stories to back up those points. One is about a student I had recently, and she did the most incredible job for the main project of the course, which is a recommendation report. I mean, the colors were right, the communication was right, it was way beyond the word count, which was great. She did tons of research, it was on a practical topic, it made sense, it was relevant, it was ethical. I mean, it was hard for me to say anything bad about this particular project. And so at the end of it, I said, you wrote about this nonprofit group, you need to send this recommendation report to them. That's how good it is. It could change the real world. And so I hope that what we learn in this class will affect the real world. And it may not be that every paper you write, is going to have a direct impact on someone's life, but learning those skills and learning how to write in the genres of technical writing will help you and will make a difference for others. Another story, and again, in the interest of being honest, comes from some students I had recently, and they were golfers, and they worked on the project together, and we all have beliefs about student athletes. Golfers, to me, hadn't always done the best job in my classes, so I was a little biased coming in, and I was aware of that, but still, it was there. But these students, they wrote the most interesting recommendation report about golfing and about the political ways golfing is arranged and how it limits certain genders and certain races. It blew me away. And so you will be judged based on the quality of your work. And again, I think we all have biases, we all have expectations about how certain types of people are going to respond, but that will not get in the way of your grade. And I love to be surprised when someone does something that's unexpected and does it really well. And if you're a good student already, you're probably going to do good work. If you kind of perceive yourself as just trying to get by, that's okay. You can still do a great job. And I think this course environment is meant to foster that. Let me just tell you one more thing, which is about my own experience with technical writing. I've not always been someone who did a lot of technical writing, and it wasn't until I got my job at OC that I actually started to do quite a bit. And so I've kind of had to learn how to become interested in this material and how to write it myself, even as I've been teaching it from the academic side. So even this past week, I've had an encounter with tech writing, and to me, tech writing is a lot of trial and error and a lot of failure. And I'll probably tell you several stories about how I've failed in different technical writing contexts. So this one, we had to write an assessment report for our classes, and I thought the style didn't really matter. I thought we were just getting out there. I didn't think anyone was going to read it. Maybe this sounds familiar to how you've been treated in some courses. And so I submitted it quickly, didn't do a great job, and lo and behold, I get a bunch of backlash. No, it has to follow this format very precisely. It's got to be just this way. I learned the hard way. I got in trouble. I had to redo sections. I ended up wasting a lot of time as a result of that. So tech writing is everywhere. Tech writing is important and requires a lot of trial and error. And for the sake of this course, I made the assignments so that you can do well. If you understand the material, work hard, you're going to be fine. But when it comes to the real world, there's always those unknowns. And to me, that's part of the interest and what keeps this type of writing from becoming too dull. So I'm really glad you've taken this course, and I'm looking forward to seeing how well you do.